Welcome in 2023. We are the first week in January, and of course all the best wishes and Happy New Year. And in this video I just actually wanted to reflect, or take the opportunity to reflect on the upcoming year, of what it is that possible we could expect and experience for ourselves. And that has everything to do with really getting further and closer into spiritual alignments. Spiritual alignments for ourselves, for our spiritual journey, our path, our purpose, and what it is that we are here to bring to the world. So why now this is even more important than ever, because the last couple of years we have gone through lots of crises, I would say, which all started from 2020. The physical crisis, of course, what I'm talking about, but basically we have been through a crisis way before that, but things are really stacking up right now. It feels like everything is going into a higher gear. So for 2023, the external world, there might be other levels of power and control dramas going on in the economy, in the political system. Also, it seems that humanity hasn't really learned that much from the whole COVID pandemic situation, and everything is like back to normal. And back to normal is, of course, what we know is the dead end road we are all on, where we are running around as individual egocentric individuals, taking care for our own needs of survival, and basically it's like a sum ends game, where we are continuing to extract the resources from our environment, and maybe Mother Nature still has to give us a couple of lessons to remind the people who are living on this planet, like, this is not the way forward, and we are not here basically to live on the lands but with the lands. If we don't learn these lessons, then of course we gotta face the consequences. So basically what it means for us is that we need to have a look at our whole work-life balance and everything that's really going on with how we are, first of all, making a living. Second, like, what it is that we are here to build and create for ourselves that is going to give us a long-lasting sense of purpose, joy, excitement and fulfillment and satisfaction in life. So if there is anything that is not in line with that ideal, then this will be the year that we need to pay more attention at bringing our soul purpose, our spirituality more into alignment with our day-to-day living. If not, then there will be, let's say, external circumstances that will force us further into this need in order to fill up our spiritual bankruptcy. That's really where society is currently at, of course. So we need to fill our spiritual bankruptcy and get rid of this spiritual debt in order to enhance our connection with the natural world, with the spiritual world, and of course with our own spirituality and other people. So let's bring things into perspective, what it is that we are actually talking about spiritual alignments. So for example, if we have been living in a life of comfort and convenience because we want things to be predictable and easygoing for ourselves, because the mind, the brain is of course here to protect ourselves from danger and the unexpected. However, the heart, the soul, the spirit, that is really here to venture into unknown territory, because we are here to accumulate new experiences, because these experiences of course will help us to self-actualize. So that's the whole purpose of the spirit, of course. Now, if we don't fulfill that purpose and we are stuck in comfort and convenience, because that's really what the mind is doing, then of course we are moving further down a spiral into spiritual bankruptcy, which is of course going to reflect on our external world, so whether it be our financial world, the lack of job satisfaction, toxic career paths or toxic work environments that we are stuck in because we are, hanging on to this comfort and convenience of wage slavery, let's call it that way, because we are addicted to a paycheck, and therefore we are way too much concerned about our own egocentric needs, and therefore we forget about the needs of others, the planet, Earth, nature. Or we are in the comfort and convenience of a relationship that doesn't really longer satisfy us, yet we tell ourselves that we really love the person and whatnot. However, there are compromises that you tell each other that has been made in order to maintain that relationship, and these sacrifices, these compromises that has to be done is actually taking a toll on your authenticity or your true authentic self, and that's where it's draining your energy levels, and it's very difficult for you to stack up your spiritual energy in order to manifest the life you actually want to live, or you have different goals for each other, and you're selling your own dreams, goals and desires, and you're trying to keep on moving with the goals and dreams and desires of someone else, and once again you're losing a part of your authentic self. So these are just a couple of examples of misalignment, and therefore we are creating more spiritual depth for our spirit, our soul, and therefore we lose the connection within ourselves, and we are going through this personal identity crisis, and that is really going to reflect on the amount of energy that we have throughout the day, and we are robbing ourselves from our joy, our purpose, our passion in life. Now, these are just a couple of examples. Of course, things can be more. There are more examples in our life that we can experience, let's say, a misalignment. And if we continue to live like that, maybe one more year or 2 more years, then we are going further down a spiral, down a drain. And down the line, we are going to pay a consequence for that. So now is actually the year to really to make a turn into the unknown, which of course terrifies the crap out of us, because the mind, the brain, doesn't want to venture into unknown territory. So things like fear and uncertainty and confusion can be of the case. But yet, deep down, you must follow this unknown territory of what your heart tells you that you should be following. But in order to do that, we have to let go of certain type of conveniences or levels of comfort, whether it be a job, a career, a business, a relationship, and living environments where we experience things like displacement, spiritual displacement, where you feel like your energy is basically being cut down from its roots, and you can't really ground yourself that, and you're basically like a little candle in the wind. It gets blown out when the rain sets in. So what's next? How can we move further into this alignment? We have to make a decision, because not taking a decision is also a decision, but once again with the consequences coming ahead. And these consequences can be, of course, be triggered by external events and circumstances that the world will move further into through the next couple of years, because we still have quite a few years to go. People talk about 2030, and right now we are going through a major global cleanse of awakening, and this cleanse means is that it basically is the whole process of this alignment. If we don't align, we pay the consequences. So it's not whether it's a good idea, it sounds fancy, it's easy, it's convenience. No, it's really bloody tough, but we have to do it. Otherwise, we might descend further into lower states of consciousness. So what are the choices, the decisions that are right? I think there is no right choice, right decision, but we have to make a decision different than from where we are currently at. Mainly so our soul can grow, mainly so we can perhaps ignite a new kind of fire within ourselves, a fire or a drive or an excitement into something new. I think that's really what this is about. Does it mean letting go of a relationship? Perhaps. Does it mean moving out of a living environment? Maybe. Because that, of course, can create a new vision that can stack up new levels of joy and excitement. And that's really what this is about. Because if you feel right now like you think you are moving towards your goals, your dreams, desires, and whatnot, but you create something and then you fall back to the old. You create something, you fall back to the old, and you're still like spinning your wheels, going absolutely nowhere. So the whole idea is you make steps, and you make another step and another step, and you're stacking up, you're building up your spiritual energy. And that's really is going to be the process of this alignment, is that you build this momentum into moving forward. And it's very difficult if you want to move forward and something is still pulling you down. If you feel like you're still like you have to drag your baggage like an anchor through thick mud of old consciousness. So it's really the process of recognizing that, become mindful, become conscious of what it is that we are still holding on to and what it is that we need to let go of, so we can stack up these new levels of passion and joy and really build our whole life around it, because we are going to reinvent of what it is that we want to live and how we should be living that is best for us, and letting go of old ways of working and living that are not really longer in aligned with who we really want to be. So there's loads and loads and loads of things going on and coming ahead. There will be still like major process of transformation coming ahead. I noticed that within myself as well, and it's not easy whatsoever. Lots of confusion as well, and I think that gives us perhaps another invitation for more time for solitude, because within the solitude, within the silence, we can listen to our own voice. We can go back to a place that we left a long time ago, left a place with the people we left a long time ago, and they have grown in different directions, and they might have an idea of who you are and who you should be, and they might give you the best advice with the best intention as possible, which is all great, and you of course you always should listen and pay attention and see what kind of insights and advice they have. But eventually it all comes down to you, of what it is that you are going to do moving forward. And you could think like, yeah, maybe I should go back to a place that I left 10 years ago, but there was a reason you left that place or situation or circumstances you left 10 years ago. Do you really want to go back to that energetic place? Perhaps you could think about the times when you felt things were safe, secure, predictable, but on the other hand you also felt the pain of not really belonging there either, and that really has brought you where you are currently at. So that's really a couple of insights that I wanted to share. I mean, of course, last week I also spent time back in the Netherlands with my family. Absolutely lovely time, really great time. Lots of food, still feel heavy of it. So I gotta align myself a little bit in that aspect as well. But it's the same thing, like, alright, I moved to another country. Yes, I do experience a little bit things of, let's say, spiritual displacements, like my roots are not in the soil of this land, of this ground, and that's why I must work harder on this spiritual work in order to integrate more the elements of the earth. Now, I could go back to that place where perhaps my roots are at, but do I go back to the place of how I used to live that I left 10 years ago? Now, there might be an incongruency with that element. Yes, I will be going back to the place where I'm from, but with an version of myself that is integrated, that is in alliance with connected to a purpose, to a cause that has been stacked up and built up into a spiritual energy that has reflected itself in material manifestations as well. So I could go to a place and build upon that. So that's really just an insight or a vision that I experienced for myself and that I wanted to share, and perhaps you could draw some insights from that as well, because we all go through different experiences. Now, of course, I'm very curious of what it is that you need to let go of. What kind of alignment do you need to make for yourself? Do you need to move away or out of something? And what it is that you need to embrace for yourself. Please let me know. Simply drop a comment below. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'm really looking forward to see you on my next videos. Take care for now. Bye bye.